doing that.
Hello, hello, my dear friends. You've reached Elena's bar. The best place on the internet, the very best by far. She'll help improve your fitness, but there's also so much more. 'Cause here are just a few things that this channel has in store. There's bar and there's Pilates and there's belly dancing too. And many styles of yoga, so I'm sure there's one for you. Then watch her practice pianist string from right within her home. She's in such big condition, she'll outrun the metronome. Elena's Bar, Elena's Bar. They're the best place on the internet, the very best by far. It's not just the piano, but the ukulele too. The guitar and violin are even more that she can do. She does so many different things, it's hard not to lose track. I nearly didn't mention that she posts on her Substack. Elena's Bar, Elena's Bar. The best place on the internet, the very best by far. Yeah, controversial topics may be brought up for discussion, but try not to provoke her or she'll swear at you in Russian. And sometimes certain topics can make quite a big impression. So remember, you take part at your own risk and your discretion. Yeah, Elena's Bar, Elena's Bar. The best place on the internet, the very best by far. You might even meet Elena if you're quite a loyal fan. She's got a fixed male cat, but she's so desperate for a man. We've really got it all, then you couldn't ask for more. So sit right back and watch Elena shave a 3 or 4. Elena's Bar, Elena's Bar. The best place on the internet, the very best by far.
Hello, my dear friends. Welcome back. Welcome to Elena's Bar and the Resurgence of Sanity. How are you doing, guys?
Good.
Good. Okay, we are starting late today because I was fuming before.
Yeah, late. Steve put a quarter in.
Oh, it wasn't me. You came already loaded for bear.
Yes, I was already. Anyway, yeah, guys, I'm pretty mad with everything that's been happening this week. Yeah, it's crazy. Anyway, we continue talking about nonverbal communication today, and we are on our part 3, where we'll talk about how to detect lies. And honestly, guys, it's probably one of the most complicated topics because detecting lies and deception, it's not that easy, okay? And some people say that, well, you have to watch their eyes. If they have the lying eyes, they will be shifting them up to the right, Steve? It's not that simple because people tend to move their faces a lot, and they learn from the very early age how to lie. And we have to always look within the context, and we have to watch other body parts as well. And we have to analyze what people are saying and what they've said before and evaluate all of that, right? And the information that we'll be sharing with you today is based on this amazing book that I highly recommend you to read, What Everybody is Saying by Joe Navarro. And please go watch our previous live streams that we did on this same topic. We did part 1 and part 2 before. Mm-hmm.
I have a question. Okay, you know what? I try and be an honest man and just say what I mean and whatnot. Why do I have to know this stuff? You know, I'm going to talk to women, and women are such sweet, innocent creatures that they would just be themselves. And if I find a good woman, she's not going to lie to me or deceive me, right?
Nick, what would you say?
I just generally assume all women are liars.
Uh-huh.
Doesn't mean every single one, no. Especially in this day and age, yeah.
Well, they may not.
Yeah, they're also probably lying to themselves, so they may not even know. they'll convince themselves that they're representing the truth, that they are who they are. They'll say outright lies. They might exaggerate. They might cover the truth. They might even convince themselves of a certain narrative.
Okay, men have the preponderance of force because they're stronger.
Mhm.
So even if a woman isn't lying, to kind of balance things out, she is going to use deception and manipulation. And there's reasons for this. She needs to stay on good terms with the herd. Because it's not a good existence if she pisses off all the other women in her life or all the other women in the world. Ask Elena about that.
Yeah.
So it's influence, manipulation, deception, telling innocent white lies, not hurting people's feelings, saying what you think will get you security and safety and cause you to or influence others so they give you what you want. It's kind of innate. I mean, and yes, we all tell white lies. Men and women, but it's more of a way of life for women. That's my belief.
Well, yeah, because she has to lie to the sisterhood in order to survive in the female kingdom, let's say. There was one lady where I triggered a bunch of okay, 3 or 4, and then there was one lady out of all of them who asked me. She was just curious, an innocent question, are you married and what are your duties inside the house? What do you do, right? And then I answered to your question, and then she immediately deleted her comment, guys. Immediately, because there were a bunch of sisters out there who were attacking me, like they were calling me names, like they were calling my husband names and all of that stuff that I'm sure people who tell the truth are going through. Okay. And then there was one lady who, out of all of that trash, there was one lady who had a good question, and even then she was scared to leave her question there because she didn't want to piss off the sisterhood. She wanted the answer, but she wasn't sure, like how other women would take it, and then if other women would start attacking her as well. She didn't want to piss off the sisterhood.
Okay, that's a good explanation.
So even women who are looking for answers, maybe some women are confused. They are looking for certain things because they realize something is wrong, right? They are not going to do it openly. I think they are going to put a mask on. So coming back to our topic, they will pretend, they will act because they will not want to be criticized by the sisterhood, so they won't be able to actively pursue what they want, but they will camouflage it, and then they will also try to lie to men about who they are. It's just like a life full of lies, honestly. I don't know how they do it, to be honest with you guys, because
Well, I lived with it for 11 years, so a lot of times the guys just turn it off. They turn off the lie detection because he thinks this woman said she loved me.
yeah.
If somebody loves you, they would never betray you, right? Wrong mentality, guys. You're having the same you're taking love and loyalty that generally the men have for other men and thinking that the woman's going to be the same way. Yeah, some women might be loyal, but
So here's my advice in a nutshell. All men, this is advice to all men. Stop caring about whether she loves you. Stop caring about that. Don't give a shit about it. It doesn't mean anything. Only care about whether she respects you.
Yes.
It's her choice whether to love you. But if she doesn't respect you, without all the love in the world, without respect, you're going to have a miserable life.
Yep.
As long as she respects you, but she doesn't love you, hey, life is good. I can live with that.
Yeah. Nobody cares about her feelings. It's like you shouldn't. There are certain things that are more important than feelings.
As a woman, do you know what those are?
What? Oh, the more important things?
Yeah, you said there
Well,
are things more important than feelings, but from a woman's standpoint, what could be more important than feelings?
Well, yeah, I understand why they. Yeah, doesn't make it right.
What is more important than feelings?
I would say duty and doing the right thing. You know,
Okay, so that's actions. What about facts?
doing what needs to be done. Well,
Are
facts, yeah,
facts
the truth, yeah.
yeah, okay.
Truth is more
Then
important
action.
than
Okay.
feelings. Yes, truth and actions are more important than feelings.
Actions based on what?
Based on the truth.
Okay.
I mean, yeah. Because I don't care. I honestly don't care what they're going through. There are different stages in life. Sometimes men feel also certain things, but it's not an excuse for men to let go of their responsibilities, right? And say, well, I don't feel like taking care of you today, so I'm going to quit my job. I'm going to start gambling, and I'm just going to cheat. And I'm just going to do all sorts of things because I don't feel like I want to be with you anymore.
So, for all you guys out there who are listening to Elena, you got to understand Elena is an outlier. She's an uncommon woman to state that. It's pretty rare. If you find a woman who understands that there are things that truth is more important than feelings, okay, she might be worth keeping. I'm not trying to say Elena is such a great woman. I'm just saying she thinks differently than a lot of women. And you got to understand that what she just stated is not something the vast majority of women will not understand, nor can they state that.
Well, they will say that they are looking for truth, but then you also have to watch their actions. A lot of women, especially now when it's becoming more socially acceptable to talk about these things, they will say how much they love the truth, but at the same time you have to watch their actions to see whether their words, what they say, matches their behavior. Because if there is no balance there, then what they say is a lie. It's a camouflage. It's just to get more clicks, likes, and attention from the target audience that these women deem attractive. Yeah, you can't just rely on what women say. Like, look, I could be an example here too. Like Steve said, like I'm not perfect, right? But you have to analyze a person's actions throughout. Like some single cat ladies will be saying and reading the Bible for you there. Well, we are looking for truth there. They are over 25 years old. Their entire behavior suggests that they are promiscuous, entitled, delusional, public whores. Okay, we are past 8 minutes. So
what they're doing, Elena, is now they're on the tradcon route. That's a lot of times the mask that they wear is, hey, so Look, if it's really public, it's clout, attention, and perhaps secondarily, they're looking for an upgrade.
Yeah.
A
But
man that'll support their lifestyle.
even more simplistically than that, they're virtue signaling.
Yeah.
Lots of people who virtue signal.
Yeah.
Hey, I would say the woke progressive side, they adopt the woke agenda and they purity spiral in the woke area. Oh yes, I care more about the environment than you do. Therefore, I'm more virtuous and you should praise me and whatnot. It's virtue signaling. The trad wives
and TradCon women
put on this mask and they bake cookies at home and they homeschool. It's for a lot of them, it's virtue signaling.
I care more about God than you do. Therefore, I'm better than you are. Look at me.
Right. So that's a deception. They're trying to deceive themselves first, and then secondarily deceive others.
Yeah, it's a self-gaslighting. They do it. They may not even realize that this is what they are doing.
And what does it signal? A lack of humility.
Yes. Yeah, that's so true. So true. And then how can they be okay? I just don't believe the grief there too, because nobody is traditional, because like I said before and you guys talked about it, traditionalism requires patriarchy, hierarchy, and order. Traditionalism requires men to be dominant and taking important decisions, leading, right? Traditionalism requires men to have legal and natural authority over women and in their families. We don't live in a traditional society, so no matter how traditional you are or no matter how traditional you claim yourself to be, it's just not true. It's not true because the execution of this traditionalism is not there. People don't abide by the same common moral principles. Like somebody who sees certain things good and evil, the other person is not going to see them the same way. And then when you try to negotiate with the people who don't see the same things as you see them, it's just a waste of time. You're not changing anybody's minds. You're just doing it for clout and just to, like venerate yourself that you are this great person, this great human being who has higher moral principles than somebody else does. And you guys did a lot of shows on morality on the Resurgence of Sanity YouTube channel, right? We've talked about it, and we've talked about it here. Yeah, because I see now, like due to the recent events, people say, like, why don't women agree that what happened to Charlie Kirk is so bad? Why don't people celebrate? Why do people celebrate?
It's not all people, and it's not all women, but there's a larger amount of women, particularly on the left in general. And if they're generally on the left, and they tend to be more unhinged and separated from reality, bought into the woke message, and you win by doing everything backwards according to nature and then celebrating it.
Yeah, but like,
So of
okay,
course
there
they're
are
going to
certain
celebrate
things.
gross wickedness, like what happened. That's what they do.
You win when the women think you win when the other person loses. The attitude of a lot of men, and I have to compliment them, is this is an attitude. Charlie, is my brother. Philosophically, he's my brother. No, I don't agree with everything he does, but he's got a good heart. He's striving for a lot of the same things that I am. Yes, I will vehemently disagree with him on certain things, but man, you know what? The world is a poorer place without that man.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I just think it's dangerous, first of all, to go and fight these people, trying to convince them otherwise, because they won't change. Well, a couple might change their lives, but is risk worth the reward? I mean, like, how many more good people will have to be sacrificed to change the minds of a few people?
Many.
Man, you sound like what did Christians do to around the world? They sent missionaries. What did the early Christian medieval church do to the Germans, the Britons, the I guess it'd be the Celts, basically the Scottish, and those Vikings. What did those what did they do, Steve?
They sent in the missionaries. And even more recent is the U.S. What happened here? They sent primarily the Catholic Church, okay? They were sending in missionaries. Well, and they sent them into Africa, into really tribes that had not seen much Western civilization. You know what? A lot of them were killed. And they sent in more. That's a lot of men died in the propagation of Christianity throughout the world. That's just a truth. Is that what you were getting at, Nick?
Yep.
So, yes, more men are going to die. That's just the way of the world. Yes, we can be concerned about it. Yes, it shouldn't happen. But it's reality. Men die. Men die in war. They die protecting their families. That's what happens to young men. Not every generation, but every 2-3 generations, we call on the young men to go and fight for us. Some are just causes, some are not.
Well, this is why I get so mad and frustrated at all women, actually. And recently, it has been the ThreadCon women who were criticizing men for not providing and taking care of women enough in the way that women deserve to be provided security and protection. Ladies, and these happen to be these ThreadCon women, they happen to be Thread wives, they're married women, and then they say how horrible men are. You owe fealty to your husbands, and you have no idea how much men already have been sacrificing their lives for you so that you enjoy the benefits of civilization here. It's just like the ungratefulness, they're taking everything for granted. You know, this is what really, really frustrates me with these women.
That's because the government will always take care of them in this current system. It's because the men are not viewed as the authority. They're not, like you're saying, they're not viewed as being in the hierarchy. The system is built so women, you see men as arm candy, sperm donors, and walking
Paycheck.
ATMs.
Paycheck. Yeah, okay.
Well, and Tredcon and Tredwives, Tredcon women and Tredwives, they are not different from those public whores from the OnlyFans girls because they view men exactly the same way. They have zero respect for men.
Is it all of them?
The ones who are very, very active on social media, who are using their kids and
Generally,
their
yeah.
families,
Yeah.
for clout. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%, because they don't prioritize their husbands. They don't prioritize their kids. They don't care about the well-being of their husbands. They don't care about the well-being of their kids. Who was it? Lila Rose a few weeks ago, who basically trashed her husband, humiliated him publicly, disrespected him. I'm like, lady, you owe fealty to your husband for tolerating your bullshit and for still being with you and bailing you out from your own stupid choices.
Oh, how do you really feel?
So much better now. I took it off my chest. This is the attitude. This is the attitude that most women have today. Gentlemen, they belong to the streets, most of them, okay? Sadly.
So,
like I think Elena's had this built up over a few days.
You know why? Well, this past week, Elena lost her voice for a couple days.
Oh, yeah, true. That happened too. Mm-hmm.
And we text back and forth. And I said, oh, man, she's going to have verbal constipation. All these words are going to back up and it's going to come out. And, well, hey, I'm ready.
Oh, Steve, you were right, as always. Okay, well, let's get into our topic today. Now I feel better, guys. Thank you for sticking around and tolerating me. Okay, so we are talking about detection today.
It's
guys,
hard to read.
Oh, can you zoom it a little bit? Thank you.
Yeah.
Guys, if you have questions and if you want to share your experience, please drop a comment in the chat. We will get to your comments. Remember to please like, share, and subscribe. It does help the channel. So yeah, let's begin, guys. So like I mentioned at the beginning of the show, detecting deception is really, really hard. Even professionals struggle with it, and they're not always right. There are also external factors, like a person could be a psychopath or sociopath, and the normal rules don't actually apply. There are different sets of cues that you will have to pay attention to, or the lack of cues in that case. So yeah, we learn to lie at a very early age, and we fake our facial expressions. This is why it's so hard for us to detect lies. Okay. We often hear our parents say, well, tell them that we are not at home, or somebody asks you when you are at home to tell to somebody that you're not at home, right? And then put on a party face smile, so you go, it's a polite smile, you kind of fake it so that people don't view you as a rude person. Okay, so our face over time, it just adjusts to the social events that are happening around us. We count on people telling the truth, though. And this is what guys were saying. We really want to hear the truth, right? We expect people to tell us the truth, especially in our crooked society, in our demoralized society, when everyone is afraid to hurt, not everyone, but most people are scared to hurt other people's feelings, and they wallpaper the problems. All right, and then this leads us to believe that there are no problems out there. Everything is great, everything is perfect, right? So yeah, we need our friends and family to be truthful, because truth is essential for all relationships. But if a person is not looking for truth, or they say that they are looking for truth, remember this concept, my truth, your truth? You guys talked about it.
Yeah, that's relativism or subjectivism. Yeah, it's bullshit.
yeah, but this is essentially what is happening today, right? People believe that if your experience is not the same as theirs, then you can't understand them because you haven't experienced it, and then you can't express any opinions about the topic because you haven't lived through what they've lived through, and yeah, it's basically my experience is more important than yours, and yeah, my feelings rule over everything. So yeah, on paper people want the truth, but do they really, and how do they approach the truth? What do they do with people who tell them the truth? Oh my gosh. Okay, let's move on. Here, women expect men to act upon their promises while they don't keep theirs. Look at wedding vows. Look how tradcons and tradwives behave. And by tradcons, I mean women mostly, because there are.
And the more expensive the wedding, the faster the marriage is going to break up.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, that's so true. That's so true. We had a very small wedding with my husband, and shocker, we are still together. Huh? Only 10 people on our wedding. Yeah. Okay. Most lies are social white lies, what Steve was saying, right? That hide the truth from us. Oh, here is an interesting question. Do I look fat in this outfit? Most people will say, of course not. You look beautiful, right? Especially the sisterhood.
Even though you can see their fat rolls through the.
Yes, like everywhere, right? And then they will say, no, you look pretty. You look so awesome in this dress. Don't women ever do it to each other?
Yeah. Okay, so guys, if your woman, your wife comes up and asks you, do I look fat in this? Okay, this seems like a lose-lose. You say yes. Then you're honest. You say no, you're lying.
This is a trap question. Yeah.
It's a trap.
Yeah, so true.
What you got to do is say, well, gee, take it off and let me compare your naked ass to what you're wearing now, and I'll let you know.
Yeah, don't give your the
so okay, it's like, oh yeah, I want to see your naked ass, and then that's gonna bring her in a different place and she'll laugh. She's not gonna do it, but okay, you escaped the question.
Yeah,
come on guys, you have to evade questions like this, because how many times have you asked a woman a direct question? Does she give you a direct answer, or does she evade the question?
Oh, she almost never
artfully evade.
Deflection is very very common in women. What were you saying, Nick? Sorry.
I said they take it. So he said it's a trap. So there's a Star Wars meme, Admiral Akbar. And then what do you do if it's a trap? You take evasive maneuvers. Men take evasive maneuvers. Women just evade the whole thing. So what Steve's saying, no, we are actually evading the question, but we're doing what women do.
Yeah.
For our own benefit, because it's a trap. Women, it's not a trap. They just evade.
Yeah.
They evade the truth.
Yep.
Yeah, and then gosh, okay, this is another topic. We will probably bring it up at some point, but let's just move on for now. Yeah, body positivity scam creates more harm to people than protecting them from the truth. Encourages more delusion and entitlement also. Yeah. Okay, detecting comfort versus discomfort cues. This is important, especially when we are trying to figure out whether a person is lying to us or not. Establish high comfort during the early part of the interaction. It's like a report building. You see how the interactions flow, and they have to be more relaxed in order for you to pick on these cues. Okay, because if they are in defense mode, if they are fighting, it's going to be really hard for you to figure out when they're going to lie to you and when they're going to tell the truth. Okay, so be neutral, not judgmental, ask questions and wait for their response. Don't attack them, even though sometimes you want to attack them. And I have to, in social interactions, like when I'm talking to people, I have to be patient sometimes and remind myself that, like, no, I need to ask a leading question or something else instead of like saying that when I know exactly what a person is doing. It's like I know for 100% he or she is lying to me. I'm not going to say it into their face.
Elena, we were having an offline discussion on text about this. Because Nick, Plutarch, and you don't really like to debate people.
Yeah.
Because debate is basically an attack. You're lying. No, you're lying. No, I can prove you're lying. And it's a confrontational thing. Whereas if you have a discussion with someone you disagree with, and you would disagree with everyone. I mean, all of us disagree with everyone.
Yeah.
Because they don't see things the same way as we do.
Mm-hmm.
So you develop some rapport, you have a discussion, and you represent your point of view. You know they're not going to agree with you. You don't force them to agree with you. You don't force your view upon them. You just throw it out there. And then in the process, you want to understand what their point of view is.
Yeah.
You're building rapport. At the same time, you are in disagreement, but you're not in confrontation. And that's a much more useful approach. You're still probably not going to change their mind.
Exactly.
But in the process, you're going to learn how they view the world more so, and you are going to connect with them. Connection does not necessarily mean you have to agree.
Yeah. You can still listen respectfully and disagree respectfully with somebody, but you don't have to throw it into their face and say that like they are just bad people because they have a different point of view, you know?
Well, it's also what we call debate today. I actually like traditional debate, and I'm sure Plutarch does too. So it's not that we don't like debate in itself, it's just that we like formal debate where it's standardized, there's a format you follow, it's more intellectual, there's time for cross-examination, question, answer, but it's later on. You have people present their argument, the other person presents their argument, the other one then, has their counter argument, rebuttal, etc. And each side has that. Then you have cross-examination. And then you kind of have, maybe you might have an audience Q&A. It's not necessary. Then you kind of have concluding arguments.
It depends on the intent.
Okay.
If both parties have the intent to explore the issue with a good-natured give and take in good faith, then that's a good thing. If one or both of the parties have a goal to destroy the other opponent and prove they're right and win the debate, you know what? I'm not really interested in that.
Yeah.
I like to explore issues. And in a debate, if it's with that intent, yeah, make your best argument by all means, because I want to understand the alternative arguments. I don't want to just stay in what I believe. If you have valid points, I may have to reconsider, but I have to have an open mind to do that. Most people don't.
Yeah, most people
don't have an open mind.
And it's blood sport today. A lot of it's about gotcha.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's not reaching any agreement, and they usually talk past each other. They don't even care and try to explore the other person's viewpoint. It's just automatic attack, So yeah, I'm not a fan of debates how we do them today. I don't mind. I don't mind the formal debates. We did some formal debating back in school, back in college. I actually quite liked it, but it's not my place to debate anyone. I'm a woman, so I leave it up to men. Anyway, let's move on here. So we have to determine the comfort versus discomfort cues. And it's harder to do when you are attacking somebody or somebody is attacking you. So be neutral, no judgment, ask questions and wait for their response. Don't attack them like you're lying. Then signs of comfort are synchrony between the movements, then isopraxism, when you either copy somebody's behavior. We've talked about it in the previous slides, in the previous live streams. And then breathing, tone and pitch of speech, and general demeanor of two comfortable people will be very, very similar. So this is what isopraxism is. It's you are kind of matching the pace of the other person. You might even match some of the gesticulation. And yeah, we've talked about it, guys. Go watch the previous live stream. Then there are more signs of discomfort actually here. When people are flesh frozen, they may appear all right, but there is discomfort. Okay. Then watch people's behavior in progression when you meet them, and then try to determine the baseline. All of this is based on the first interaction with the person, and then notice if there is any change or micro change in their behavior, okay, and what causes that change. Then the heart rate might quicken, the hair might stand out, perspire, and then the breath rate increases, okay. Then rearrange ourselves, look if they are wiggling or jiggling and fidgeting, if they are twisting at the hips, drumming their fingers like that on the table, or on another surface, if they are nervous and uncomfortable. Observe discomfort without any objects on the way. This is usually very common in interrogations. You want to watch a person without the table so that you can see how his legs are moving, because remember, legs are the most honest part of the human body, the legs and feet, and then the torso also. So yeah, try not to have any objects that prevent the good visual of the person. And then observe from standing position too. And he actually gives a very good example in the book. This is why I highly recommend you to read this book, guys. When he noticed a few more cues that the person was exhibiting by just standing and walking around the room and watching that person, because when you're sitting, you're focused on some things, and then when you're standing and start like walking, you can notice more things. Okay. Then rubbing forehead near the temple, squeezing the face, rubbing the neck. Oh, remember all of these pacifying behaviors. Stroking the back of the head with a hand, then rolling the eyes to show displeasure and disrespect. Remember that one. Preening, right? You like clean yourself and, you know, um, then you take down to person asking the question. Talking down to person asking the question, like giving short answers, becoming resistant, hostile, and sarcastic, kind of like fuck you, right? I don't care. Then the indicative of deception would be diminution to touch, but not necessarily. So if you see a person is usually moving his body without any restriction, when they suddenly stop moving, you know, it could be a sign of deception, but it's not a guarantee. Okay. Then we don't touch people we don't like, disrespect, or have contempt for. Look for subtle behaviors such as grimace, and look for contempt for sure. Okay.
I just thought of something. It's kind of funny. I've never done it. So when you're in an argument with your wife and she's being critical, what would happen if you said, "Whoa, gee, give me your hand," and you hold her hand? Could you please say that again?
Oh.
And now she's touching you. Can she actually say it again?
Yeah, that's
because
interesting.
she's showing contempt and whatnot. Now you have touch, you have bodily contact, you're holding hands. What would change? This would be an interesting experiment to do.
Yeah, guys, please experiment and tell us. Share your experiences in the comments. Okay.
Because, hey, we all have been in those marital fights, spats, whatever. And you're always across the room. You're never, ever touching.
Yeah.
When you're having these heated discussions. What would happen if you start initiate touching or holding hands while you're doing it?
While you're arguing?
Some psychologists should do an experiment on this.
Yeah.
Or just take your clothes off.
That's a good one too.
You know, there is a book. Okay, it was written in the 90s, I think. It's called Sex is Holy.
Oh, I knew you were going to say that.
By Mary Gallagher, Catholic woman. And she, a couple things she advocates: skin to skin prime time, basically. Touching each other while naked, good and bad, whatever, not necessarily sexual. Okay. And I think there's something in there about nudity. Can you have an argument while the two of you are sitting there naked? Okay. Remember, in the Bible, we talk about nudity is a feature in the Bible. We call it the naked truth.
Oh, yes.
So, in general, I believe people don't have as much ability to lie when they're naked because they're exposed. They have there is more truthful communications. Now, I'm obviously advocating this between a husband and a wife.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no I'm not talking about any moral issues here. Probably would work elsewhere too. But think about it. Clothes are kind of a barrier and a mask, and they hide certain things. And
Steve, I'm just gonna say this is one of the things that it really fucking bothered me when my ex went to shit, right? I mentioned it. I was like, she won't get naked in front of me. I haven't seen her naked in a year. And they're like, what? I'm like, oh, but the girls will say, oh, but I'm just ashamed of my body. Blah, blah. I got body image issues. No, you don't. It's either contempt for the man or both. And if there's contempt for the man, she might be hiding something.
It's deception.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
an unconscious desire to deceive, and you don't want to get naked in front of someone you're trying to deceive. It's really unconscious.
yeah, that's a
So,
great point. Yeah.
so to all you married people out there,
Mhm.
you know what? You need to be naked in front of each other much, much, much more often in a non sexual way. You don't want all your nudity to be equated with sex because
Yeah.
that makes nudity equal um, lust and all. You get weird connotations. Natural, you can probably have some much better conversations
You know what? Based,
when you're naked, because now you are vulnerable and the other person is vulnerable. You're going to be more real.
wouldn't you say, Steve, that based on that logic, when we see women semi-naked on social media, they are more honest on social media than they are with their husbands, especially if they restrain sex and touch and nudity with their husbands?
Well,
Is
maybe
it
they're showing the world who they really are.
who they
They
really
don't show
are?
their
This is
husbands
what
who they really are.
exactly. This is what I'm thinking, because yeah, that actually makes sense, you know. Okay, guys, let's move on here. Detecting deception. Any facial expression that lasts too long or lingers is not normal. It could be an extended smile when you notice that it's no longer a genuine smile, but it's kind of a person is like faking it, you know, then frowning or a surprised look. Usually surprise is like really quick, and if people are like they could be really forcing it, you know. But none of these rules really apply to sociopath and psychopath. Those guys are a separate research study, you know. So what applies to normies does not really apply to them. Okay, you have to watch for other things. Such contrived behavior is intended to influence opinion, lacks authenticity. Okay, so whenever behavior is contrived, when it's extended and prolonged, so watch out for those things. When people are caught doing, sorry, typo here, something wrong or lying, they will hold a smile for what seems eternity. Instead of indicating discomfort, this type of false smile is discomfort display. Have you ever noticed that one in particular in your wives, your ex-wives?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, little or no eye contact is not indicative of deception. Here you go, guys. So many people think that if a person is rolling his eyes, looks right or left or elsewhere, they are lying. They must be lying. No, actually, a person, when they gaze out, they are processing, they are thinking. When they are constantly focused on you, that could actually indicate some deception, because people subconsciously realize that if they don't look at you, you will perceive them as liars. Okay, then predators use Machiavellian, which includes psychopath, conman, habitual liars, consciously increase the eye contact. Here you go, guys. It's erroneously believed that looking someone straight in the eye is a sign of truthfulness. There are cultural differences, of course. Like African American people than Latin Americans may look down and away from parental authority out of respect when questioned. Okay. So, yeah, cultural differences are important. Don't ignore them. Then the head movement has to be consistent with person's statement. If not, it may indicate deception. Again, not a guarantee, guys. Okay, I did. Okay, here, guys. Okay, I can't even do it. Okay, I didn't do it. I didn't do. See how head is nodding? It's affirming something, and you are saying no.
Okay, can I do one?
Yeah, go.
I did not have sexual intercourse with that woman.
Exactly. Yes. Awesome. Yeah, I'm so glad you brought up this
And
example.
my Clinton
Mm-hmm.
impersonation is pretty weak.
Yeah, I know. But you see how, and he was also affirming with a finger there. Oh, yeah.
But I don't think it was a completely straight finger. It was a little bit crooked, I think.
Steve. Okay. Okay. Well, yeah. The head movement has to be consistent with the statement, guys. Okay. If not, it might indicate deception. Um, yeah. Then perspiration and breathing increases. Also, watch out for that. Person's voice may crack, or it can become inconsistent also. Swallowing can become difficult due to dry throat from stress. Look for hard swallows, like people are really struggling like to swallow or to breathe. And then watch for bob or jump of the Adam's apple. Okay, here, like when especially people are struggling to swallow. And then Joe Navarro suggests the 12 steps of observation. This is what he usually does. So you get a clear view without obstacles and anything blocking the view. Then expect some pacifying behaviors. Some pacifying behaviors are normal. Okay. A little bit of fidgeting might happen, so it's okay. People deal with different situations differently. They might be stressed out. People do this to calm themselves, to adapt to the changing environment. Then the third step is expect initial nervousness, especially during the date, interview, or interrogation. Then the fourth step, get the person with whom you interact to relax first. Take time to let the person become more relaxed before asking questions or exploring topics that might be stressful. So in the interrogations, they often offer water or some like tea, some other drinks, even when they interview the criminals, and the bad people. And then 5, establish a baseline. Once person's pacifying behaviors have decreased and stabilized, use that baseline for assessing the future behavior. And then 6, look for increased list of pacifiers, spike in frequency in response to certain question. Then correctly identify the stimuli, what caused that difference. It could be a question, it could be information or event. Okay, let's scroll down. Oh, Nick is probably... okay, you're still there. Okay, cool. Then 7, ask, pause, and observe. Don't machine gun staccato-like questions, okay? Let people talk and watch their reaction. Innocent people confess to crime during stressful interviews, according to Kasin. And whenever people are not comfortable, they feel under pressure, they are going to take blame. They might even confess to the things that they have never done. So yeah, be careful with that. Don't press them too hard. Okay. And then 8, keep the person focused. When people tell their stories, there will be fewer useful nonverbals. And he does bring a very good example in the book. This is why I recommend you to read the book still, where there was a lady and she was cooperating. She was saying so much information, but all of that information was useless. So yeah, keep them focused. Point the questions to provoke useful behavioral manifestations. Then 9, chatter is not truth. Truth is revealed not in the volume of material spoken, but through the verification of facts. Until it's verified, it's self-reported and meaningless. In the Red Pill, we say make sure that their behavior matches their words, right? Then 10, stress coming on and going out. People with guilty knowledge will present two distinct behavioral patterns in sequence. The first response will reflect the stress experienced when hearing the question or a certain statement. He may lean away towards the exit, right? And then the second set of related behaviors, the pacifying, releasing stress behaviors that might include neck touching, nose stroking, neck massaging. Okay, so keep an eye on that. 11, isolate the cause of stress. Two behavioral patterns in series, stress indicators followed by pacifying behaviors are not necessarily deception. It could be just a person is uncomfortable, very insecure, and very stressed out. Okay. Honest people under stress would touch their nose just like deceptive people. So don't be hasty in your conclusion that this person is a liar. Then 12, pacifiers say a lot. Identify when a person is stressed. Pacifying behaviors help identify issues that need further focus and exploration. Okay. And effective questioning can help reveal person's feelings, thoughts, and intentions. Okay.
So, oh, go on. Well, before we move on to the next thing, I want to bring up something.
Mm-hmm.
It's not on this list, or maybe it is. Shakespearean deception.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and the reason I'm calling it that is there's a quote from Hamlet. Methinks the lady doth protest too much.
Too much, yeah.
Okay, here's a true life example. My first marriage. Okay, Nick has talked about the lack of any sexual things going on, basically prudishness, whatever, avoidance. Okay, so I asked, I guess we were probably having an argument, probably about the lack of sex. And I asked my ex, did you have an abortion or were you sexually molested? Holy shit. Holy shit. She just reacted, invented. How dare I say that? And asked a question. And oh man, her reaction. Okay, I asked the question in a sincere way, not accusational, but man, did she react. Okay, so I didn't know what to think of it at the time, and I kind of took it at face value. But it's one of those things that stuck in my brain about her reaction because it didn't sit right with me. Yeah. It was so over the top, and over, I don't know, I guess a few years, I got that phrase, methinks the lady doth protest too much, which indicates it was probably a blatant lie. Yes, I hit. Okay, when you go to the dentist and you got a toothache,
mm-hmm.
and he's in there with that little pointy thing,
yeah,
and he hits the nerve, you go, ah,
yeah, you hit the nerve there.
Okay, so what do you think? Did that question hit a nerve?
Oh yes. For sure. Yeah, well, and this is why he does mention that you ask a question and observe their reaction. If it's over the top, if it's too much, you will notice that something is off.
And okay, it's like in your face.
Mm-hmm.
You may not realize it at the time, and that's fine.
Yeah.
That the fact that reaction is so extreme and out of the ordinary, it's going to stick in your brain.
Mm-hmm.
You'll eventually go back and reprocess that. Gee, did her reaction tell me that she was deceiving me and that I actually did hit upon the truth because it was a sore nerve? Oh,
So enough,
back
yeah.
to that criteria of mine: IPA guilt,
Mm-hmm.
infidelity, promiscuity, abortion. There is guilt. There's a sore point there. And if you probe it, not maliciously, but just in order to discover the truth, if she reacts out of hand to that, you probably tapped into something that's important that
Yeah.
she is deceiving you about.
Yeah, if she's overly defensive and she just protests too much, then she's probably lying, yeah, yeah, because she's
Nick, you were going to say something.
trying to convince herself that she didn't have it. It's mostly they do it to themselves. Sorry. Mm-hmm.
They overreact because they're covering.
Covering, yeah.
It hit a nerve. So it hit a nerve. It might get them angry because you touched the nerve, and then their reaction is going to be out of normal because you hit a nerve, and plus now they have to try to cover. So they'll be very adamant. Not saying you can't be adamant in a calm voice, but usually it's their mannerisms and their level of voice goes way up. I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Yeah, exactly.
Nick,
yeah.
In reflecting on the demise of your marriage, in discussions with your ex, did she ever have over the top reactions to things?
During the marriage or after?
Well, during the marriage, when you reflect back on what was going on with your eyes open and processing through all the crap that went on previously, were any of her reactions to discussions just out of proportion?
I remember a couple times, yes. She had just gotten back from vacation. This is right around when the money was missing, and I didn't know it was missing yet. But about the same time, I was doing VBS, and I just noticed like my mom had. So it was a second vacation she took that summer, but I had gotten. I was doing VBS, and there's something that just wasn't adding up to what she was saying. I said, "So, why are you lying to me?" And she just started yelling and screaming, "How dare you ever think I ever could da 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 da?" And like the neighbors could hear it. I was like, you know what? I was like, you need to chill out. That didn't work. She went even crazier. But I was like, you know what? All right, whatever. I left, did my VBS thing. I found out like 2 months later, I had no clue that somehow the cops were called.
On you?
I don't know. All I knew
Maybe
is
the
people were
neighbors,
telling me,
maybe the neighbors may be called.
I have no idea. And I was getting blamed for it. I'm like,
Well,
what?
sure.
I was like, this is the first time I'm hearing this.
she's
It's like 2
screaming,
months
but
later,
the
I was gone.
man. It's interesting how she's screaming, but the man is blamed, right?
Oh, then
So
another one
here's
was when she
okay.
wasn't.
Before you go into the next one, here's the thing. Nick asks
A
kind
simple
of a
question.
benign question.
Yeah.
Why are you lying to me? Now, if a person is not lying, they would calmly address the situation.
Yeah.
If a person is lying, they react just explosively.
Yeah.
So that's really confirmation that she was fucking lying blatantly, and he wasn't buying it. And then she was frustrated, and then she reacts.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
okay, she was fucking lying. So what's your next story, Nick?
The next one was about the same time. I was like, I started researching some. I was getting red pilled. I was just curious because we never really. Every time we ended up doing something, she'd end up pregnant. So people say, "You got 7 kids. You must have done stuff a lot." I'm like, no. It's like every time we did, she once every 2 months. Oh, I'm pregnant, or not every time, but a lot of the time. Okay. And then when she got that, all touching, all everything would stop. And I'm like, this is kind of weird. And I was getting red pilled. I said, I mentioned having a paternity test, and she flipped the. I mean, a girl might flip the hell out either way to say, but oh my gosh, she was calling
What's
people
the
on the
big deal? I
phone,
mean, if you know
bad
that
mouthing.
this is where I don't understand. Okay, I understand why women do it, but if they have something to hide, they're going to rebel against the paternity test. If you know that this child that you are bearing is your husband's child, what's the big deal to do the paternity test? Go do and prove it. Like, okay, here you go. The child is yours, right? No, but like
Well,
when they
I
go
have.
over the hoops to like, no, I'm not doing. How dare you to not to trust me? And they start blaming everything on men. Then this is a red flag, gentlemen. This is a red
Well,
flag.
and I was wrong, but my instincts was correct.
Mm-hmm.
I had the paternity test after, through the divorce, but my instinct was correct. I mentioned this on Wednesday, when we were recording. I mentioned this either last week or one of the episodes. Maybe it was here. Anyways, the red flag was, that night where I took her phone. I found the Snapchats between her and another girl down south about inquiring after a grape kit. Now, for a while, I thought, I was like, why is she doing this? Did she trying to accuse me of SA? But that wouldn't make sense because I'm married to her, and it just pulls up that, yeah, you had relations with your husband. Okay. Then I thought, no. Why do women get grape kits when they're married? Unless like something actually happened, right?
To not take accountability for what may have happened and put all the blame on a man, even if he goes to jail and has nasty things happen to him, all to avoid accountability.
And so it means it's with another guy.
Yeah.
And she's going to try to throw that guy under the bus to try to deceive to save the so-called marriage, right? And the friend said, "No, everything you did was consensual. You could do better." It took me a while to process this out, but that was around the same time. It might have been a few months around. I can't remember all the details perfectly and their time. It was around a few months around. It might have been within the week. It might have been, a few months around when I asked the paternity question.
So let me draw another, or point out another scenario, a common scenario. So a guy comes home. He went out the previous night. For whatever reason, he stayed out late. He was with his buddies. And she is just in a huff. she's accusing him of all kinds of stuff, being unfaithful to her, seeing other women, doing this, doing that, and it didn't happen. So what does the guy do? He goes, oh, I sat with Joe. You want to call Joe? Here's what we did. You tell you what, call up Joe right now. Ask him what we did. Okay, so there's an accusational question saying the man did something wrong. He's saying, no, here's what I did.
Yeah.
And here's my alibi. That he immediately goes to that. He's not getting defensive. That's the difference. That's kind of how you can determine he's probably telling the truth. He says, hey, check it out. I have nothing to hide. The person who reacts over the top has something to hide. They're fucking lying.
Yeah, Stephen, I want to build up on this point that you brought up, because I saw Donovan Sharp a while ago. He also made this point: when women are accusing men of cheating, they are suspecting their men of cheating. They are usually the ones who do the cheating. They just try to blame the man and shift the blame from themselves. And this way, a man won't suspect a woman in cheating because, okay, she's accusing him of cheating. So if he starts defending himself, a woman can get away with her crimes, right? He's not paying attention when a man is defending that himself, that he didn't do it, right? He brings the evidence to her and he tries to prove to her that he's this loyal husband, right? He is not paying attention to what she is doing behind the scenes.
He can't. It's a brilliant move. She says, you're cheating on me. Well, it's deflecting blame on him.
Blame, yeah.
And now she's cheating, but he can't go, no, I'm not. Actually, you're the one who's cheating. It's kind of that childhood game. Not me, no, you. So by accusing the other person of doing what you're doing, you kind of prevent them from accusing you. And certainly in a court of law or family court, no, once she accuses a man of doing something, he cannot accuse her of that because it seems petty, it seems juvenile, and it won't work. So that's why women accuse, because they get basically a free pass, and then their true nature or activities cannot be brought to light.
Yeah. And then also with women in particular, I noticed that when they appeal to victimhood, something bad has happened to them, or they exaggerated bad in their minds. And then they start telling you a story. And the first time they tell you, they're overly emotional and they're just mad that you even question them. You try to understand the situation better, right? And you ask some leading questions that will help you understand what they went through better, but they view it as a personal attack, that you don't trust them. So they start coming up, and then the next time the story comes up again in a few months, let's say, it could take years to build up the story and to justify what they've been through in their mind. And of course, they're going to tell you this story with new acquired details. Those details, when they deviate from the facts that have happened to them, the actual truth that was going on, this is when you can suspect them lying. They could be lying to you guys, because all of these new details that suddenly appear and to decorate the story, like they look at it from a deeper side, like they were more wounded, or there were other unrevealed before details that showed up. She could be constructing it in her brain, and she could be she's just trying to convince herself that this thing happened to her, and she's trying to convince you with more details that really happened, you know so these extra details, pay attention to them, because yeah, especially if the information wasn't revealed before, if it wasn't revealed right away, like, okay, let's say this grape case, right? A woman was raped, and then she hides the fact that she was the one who wanted that kind of relationship with this man, because she pursued that man, and then she calls this man all kinds of names, and then later months pass by, and then she builds up a new narrative, a new story in her brain, and she's trying to convince you, because you didn't quite buy into her story up front. You were just challenging her. You were asking some questions to understand what really happened, and she could view it as a personal attack, that you didn't believe her, and then in her mind she would come up with new facts, fabricated facts.
Of course he didn't totally believe her, because she was making up the story on the fly.
Yeah.
And she's not entirely stupid. Okay, women are adept at remembering what lies they told to whom. Because in women's world, they'll tell a lie to Sally to keep things calm. Yeah. And then to Karen, they'll tell a different lie.
Yeah.
So they got to keep their lies and their stories straight. So they're very adept at keeping this in line. And they're also very adept when Sally talks to Karen and they compare notes. Oh, okay, well, something doesn't mean. Okay, she's going to have to evolve and modify the story to keep everybody calm. So over time, that first story she tells, there's going to be details in there that are not consistent. And so over time, she has to resolve those details and come up with the narrative has to get more sophisticated.
Oh, that's a good way.
To address the incongruences in the initial story. So that requires embellishment. So I think that's what Elena was talking about.
Yes.
As time goes on, the story gets more and more embellished.
Exactly. And you know what I started doing when I talk to women? Well, I rarely talk to women because they won't talk to me. I take notes. I fucking write down everything they say, And then there were even a couple of women who were like, "Why do you take notes?" No, like, why? So that you could use this information against us somewhere else,
They're already paranoid that you're going to use their words against them. Are they telling the truth?
Well, that's women can't help themselves. It's sometimes they do forget their own stories. Sometimes they do forget. Enough time passes by, that they've modified their lies so many times that they start tripping. They start like they forget what they said previously, and then here you go, lady. Okay, on this day you said this and that, and you just read it out to them. I'm like, so what is true? What is true there? Out of everything you say, this is why they don't like me. I mean, I don't blame them. I mean, Anyway, guys, these are just a few suggestions for you. If you just start writing down everything after sure, or put it on video, just record here. But then she won't. It has to be done. Or you had a conversation with her write down what she told you so that she doesn't suspect you in doing these things, in front of her. I sometimes do it just because, and to watch their reactions and see how they react, and it's sometimes funny to piss them off. But if it's your wife or somebody, what did she tell you? Okay, while you still remember, write it down and put the date on the paper, like when this was the day when she said it. And then a few weeks later, like
no,
days
look,
later.
This is only gonna work when a guy already knows it's on the out.
Yeah. True.
Guys are not gonna do that.
Yeah, I know.
Guys are not. No.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you want, if you want more evidence to to see whether
I did
she's
learn
lying or not.
something. I did learn something from Elena's story.
Oh, what story?
What you just told about writing things down.
Yeah.
She writes everything down.
Here's what I learned. Plutarch is an honest man. Because she doesn't vent and rail against a guy. They've had a lot of discussions. She's fucking writing down what he's saying. And then, a year or two later, he'll say something else. He's not inconsistent with what he told her before.
Exactly.
So she's still married to him. And she still likes, loves, respects the guy. So since she's writing down everything he said, well, enough things, and she's still with him, I would say Plutarch is a pretty honest guy.
He's very honest. Yeah. Well, there is a reason why I think I want the truth to be told to me. I don't care how much it hurts, and
I disagree.
Well, in general, okay. In general, I want the truth. There is a reason why we are still together. If I just can't be with a liar or a simp who wallpapers everything. It's just so annoying.
Hey, it's kind of true though. Both Nick and I, we call out Elena. We tease her. We say things that are maybe not always nice, but she likes us because, hey, we're not being vindictive when we call her out on something, and we generally like her. So, okay, these are good guys.
Yeah,
and that's how I perceive her reaction to us.
Got you there. Ah! Yeah, you're not doing that.
A lot of women do that to me.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun.
Once you figure out what women are up to, it's like, okay, ladies, nothing can save them,
Hey, with ladies, you start doing that. There's two things. They get like, oh, they kind of like it, or they get really pissed.
Yes.
And then you just kind of sit back, watch the fireworks go off.
The reaction, yeah. Ask a question and pause to see their reaction, and yeah. Well, okay, guys, let's finish off the presentation here. Okay, we are almost done. So in regards to nonverbal patterns that we could be paying attention to, it's synchrony. Look for synchrony between what is being said verbally and non-verbally. Remember, I can't even do it, gosh. I did not do it. Yeah, that. Okay, watch out for those incongruences. Then between circumstances of the movement and what the subject is saying. So synchrony between what is being said verbally and non-verbally. A synchrony between circumstances of the movement and what the subject is saying. And then between events and emotions. And also synchrony between time and space, because if the response is too delayed, then this could be also a red flag. Okay. they are processing and they are not like reacting right away, they could be trying to hide what they are. They don't want you to pay attention to their first response. Okay. Okay. Then lack of synchrony. Person says, "Yeah, I didn't do it." This applies to Clinton, right? While head is nodding in an affirmative motion, and then look, would you lie about this? No. Would you lie about this? No. Yes. Okay. Then while head gives a slight nod, when head movement comes with a noticeable delay, or like no, okay. So yeah, if there is a mismatch, like usually body kicks in like right away, but when they try to limit it and control it, and some pathological liars, they're really good at it, so they might even say like no, and then the delayed response comes in. Okay. Then emphasis. Okay, I'm jumping ahead here. Okay, what did we miss here? Yeah, when a movement comes with a noticeable delay. So watch for discomfort and possibly deception. Mm-hmm. And then emphasis. Pay attention to what people emphasize when they speak. We naturally use various body parts to emphasize, like eyebrows, head, arms, torso, legs, feet. It's universal when people are being genuine. So the hand gestures, like we move around, we are not restricting our movements. Liars don't emphasize. Okay, they are limiting their body language. Liars engage their brain to decide what to say and how to deceive, but they don't think about the presentation of the lie. When they are fabricating an answer, the emphasis looks unnatural or is delayed. It's not appropriate, or unimportant matters are being emphasized. Hand behaviors complement honest speech, thoughts, and true sentiments. And then de-emphasizing, it shows lack of commitment to their own speech, restriction and withdrawal behaviors when not committed to what they are saying. Deceptive people spend time evaluating what they say and how it's being perceived instead of making a point. Okay. So yeah, they will be paying attention to how other people view them. They will want to be viewed as honest people, right? But then it comes at a cost that de-emphasizing or like overemphasizing something, delaying the response. Okay, then specific nonverbals to consider: lack of emphasis in hands, the rogatory or prayerful position. Mm-hmm. A palm up position indicates a person wants to be believed or wants to be accepted. Captured soldiers, they like do this, right? As they approach their captors, like we are innocent. Like, look, show your arms, right? This is why they say, show us your arms. So, yeah, it's not a dominant or confident position. Palm down when people are stating something affirmative and they believe in what they say, it's a more confident behavior. When they are like touching the surface with their palms down, when they emphasize, they sound more confident. And then we have territorial display and deception. Nick, can you zoom it a little bit? I'm having troubles.
Okay.
It's really small. Sorry. Okay. Less secure people take less space. Distressed people fold arms and legs into their body, so it's like total kind of effect. Assuming a fetal position, then arms intertwined like a pretzel. Ankles are interlocked in place, painful to the observer. So it's like if a person is uncomfortable in his position where he is, yeah, it could be a sign of discomfort and deception. Then dramatic countercurrent changes could indicate deception with a specific change of topic. Shoulder shrugs. A person is not sure. If one shoulder comes up towards the ear, a person's head seems to disappear. It's a sign of discomfort. It may expect you may expect a deceitful response. Okay, so it's like one shoulder shrug. A person is not sure. Both shoulders. It's even more insecure. Yeah. Okay.
When I see it says one shoulder comes up, that's more deceitful than.
Yeah, one shoulder is more deceitful. If both shoulders, it's just the person is not sure, he doesn't know. Yeah. Okay. Discomfort derives from many sources. It could be antipathy, setting, nervousness, result of culpability, guilty knowledge, or having to hide information. Yeah. And then now guys know how to ask better questions, decode nonverbal behaviors in context. So I keep practicing situational awareness, observing and corroborating. There is no way all of this knowledge is going to stop people from lying. You just have to be better. You have to learn how to decode people better with practice. How to decode their lies. Yeah. Take time to investigate and do more research to collect more data evidence before calling somebody a liar. Many good relationships were destroyed this way. Yeah, without evidence, without facts supporting that, it could be just a guess, and you need more evidence, and it usually builds over time. So this is why I always tell you guys, when you're analyzing a content creator on social media, watch their behavior in progression, not just what they want you to see on the display with the videos and shorts, but also how they interact with their audience, how they interact with their husbands, when it applies to female content creators in particular, what kind of content they post there, how are they viewing social media, what do they prioritize, all of these things. Okay. And watching one video where a woman says, we said it before and we'll probably say it again, when a woman says something socially acceptable that you agree with, that resonate, even with the red pill talking points, it's not enough. It's not enough. Watch her behavior, watch your other content. Okay. And analyze. You need to collect more data. The more data you collect, the more evidence you have. Okay. So yeah. And there is always a 50-50 chance that you could be wrong in your assumptions. But when you have more data and evidence, then trust the evidence of your own eyes, because the whole idea that women have there is to convince you otherwise, that you are wrong, that this this data that you've collected about them is useless. They want you to be lost in details, you know. So yeah, this is it, guys. Yeah, thank you for joining us today.
Well, there's I want to bring up a current thing. I want you to know that as a woman, when you men approach me and you talk to me when I don't want to be talked to, you are being an affront to me, and I am afraid.
Yeah, right.
Now, is my bird hands getting that message through to you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome, Steve. It's like pointing the finger, right? It's like it's more taking and violating person's space when even, especially with their fake nails, when they do
this bird hands things means they're spouting shit that they're trying to force into your brain to make them believe you. It's I think that's just blatant deception.
It is deceptive. Yes, I agree. Yeah, whenever they say anything, guys, and it could be anything, like I hear women say, we don't want this unwanted attention from men, and yet they are still on social media exposing themselves semi-naked or doing all sorts of things, showing their families, showing their kids, and then they say, especially women, oh, watch out now with the recent events that happened. Women will start talking maybe about safety and provision and protection that men have failed in providing them, and just watch how they behave on social media, what kind of content they put out there, because a lot of these women, they use their kids, they use their families to build their own brands. And like, do they really care and prioritize the safety and well-being of their children as they claim? No, because their actions speak otherwise.
Hey, Nick, I got something that you know about, so I'm going to ask you a question.
All right.
Can you talk about the use of silence to detect lies?
Okay, so silence. So basically, it's like so it's the car salesman tactics. Mum is the word.
Bingo! I knew you'd get it.
Yeah. So basically, you present the offer or you present the argument, the question, right? And whoever speaks first loses. But it's the power of silence to make the other person uncomfortable, where they have to basically react in some way.
So you ask a woman a question,
and
she responds with, she has to form a story.
Yeah.
And then she tells that story. She's looking for your reaction. Are you buying what she's selling? And if you just sit back and you say, just have a furrowed look, don't say a damn word.
Yeah.
And be patient. Go 30 seconds. Go a minute. Go 2 minutes. Go 5 minutes. Just kind of have a questioning look. Whoever speaks first loses. And the weaker person, or the person telling the lie, is going to fill the silence. They're not buying my story. I'm going to have to embellish it. I'm going to have to tell more lies to convince them. They will convict themselves. Right, Nick?
Oh, yeah.
So you can promote their lying in order to be discovered by use of silence.
Yeah. I sometimes do that on women too. I just let them talk and watch if there are any logical fallacies or inconsistencies in what they are saying. like matching their behavior and their words, and then the more quiet you are, they are going to fill it up with void. And yeah, you just let them talk, and they'll tell on themselves. Don't interrupt them.
Bingo.
Yeah, just let them reveal who they are. Eventually they will. And then you, like, if you really want to, over the years, I've kind of learned how to ask indirect questions that would reveal more information about the person, but without me saying it, so they would, it looks like an indirect question to the outside eye, but there is a specific information that I'm looking for, and I'm asking it, giving a person rope to hand themselves, and then like if they start talking, and then you see how they walk about it, it just, and then you still, in the end, you get the answer from them, and then but they don't know what your intention was when you asked that question. It just helps you to reveal better who they are,
Here's one thing. Just women are uncanny at this. You ask a woman a question.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing her mind does is it races. Why is he asking this question? If I answer it this way, they're going to go here. If I answer it that way, they're going to go here. So I'm going to answer it. She is focused on what the reaction is if she tells the truth.
Mm-hmm.
She's not concerned with telling the truth. She's concerned with the reaction. Why do women avoid so many questions? Why can't they answer yes or no?
Oh, this is why you can't ask them.
Because they are thinking, well, if I answered yes, it would be this. If I answered no, it would be that.
It would be
easier. I can't answer no because that would be telling a lie. I can't answer yes because, that would reveal too much. So, her mind is working in overdrive to come up with
it. Is. It's a lot of work, guys, to think about the upcoming reaction from the person who is listening to you. And yeah, this is why when you ask them direct questions, you see them deflecting or just calling you names, attacking you. You have to ask them. Sometimes I do ask them direct questions, but anyway, if you kind of want to understand them and them tell on themselves, you ask them indirect questions, so that they don't kind of like suspect where you are going. It just this is why, like, no judgment, just interacting with them, and then let them tell on themselves, because they will.
And then here comes the RP Babushka with the hammer.
Yeah, well, then you can judge them later. You can say, boom, like put them through a lie detector. Do you remember when they were zapping them? At the end, I'm like, okay, fine, afterwards, but not before, because if you do it before, then nobody will talk to you, right? I mean, they already know what's coming. They won't talk to me anyway. I kind of did it to myself, but yeah, you don't you don't prosecute them right away. You prosecute them afterwards, And I mean, by prosecution, you just like you make up your mind whether she's worthy of your time and investment. Just yeah. But sometimes it's funny to watch women how they fabricate all of this, like what's going on in their minds when they are doing it. It's hilarious, You'll be lost in the weeds, but yeah, don't get lost in the details that they are trying to push on you guys. Stick to the point, stay focused, because they will try to drag you out of what's important, and then indirectly you can slowly bring them back to the topic by another indirect question. Like you kind of have to think ahead of like, okay, yeah.
Laying her traps.
I kind of do, yeah. This is why women don't really like me, because like, okay, I can I can kind of see what they think, you know, because I'm a woman. I also think that way. Yeah. Well, anyway, guys, we are done with this topic. It was a long topic. It took us a while. I'm on his next book now. I started reading this one, if anyone is interested. This is kind of a summary of what we've talked about. It just summarizes the behaviors and in an, I think it's in alphabetical order, or it starts from the head and then it goes down. I think the nonverbal communications, what they mean. Yeah, if you want this book, it's a dictionary of body language, a field guide to human behavior by the same author, by Joe Navarro. So if anybody is interested, yeah, it's a shorter book than the other one because it's a summary. So yeah, but great conversation today, guys. I really enjoyed it.
Yep.
Did you learn anything from today's in terms of detecting lies, some of the recommendations that he was given? Yeah. Awesome. Well, yeah, guys.
You know, where I learned the most is from telling a story, and then Nick tells the story.
Yeah.
And from the stories of his marriage and my stories, hey, all of a sudden, oh, I'm not out there in the weeds. No, there's a consistency in this. So my perceptions of what I am trying to figure out what happened in my past, they're confirmed by the observations of other men. And Elena has also confirmed a lot of my observations or beliefs, I guess, when she says, yeah, this is what women do. This is how they do it. This is my observations of other women. Okay, it's a lot of the anecdotal information that, listen to that. If you don't get anything else, it's the anecdotal information of other people telling stories, and then you know that your perceptions and your stories, you're not fucking nuts.
Yeah,
no,
some
this
people,
shit actually happened.
Yeah, other people also experience that. Well, this is why, guys, we ask you always to share what you think about these nonverbals and other topics that we are talking about, because yeah, this is how you confirm that something is bigger than just anecdotal evidence, you know. It's more statistically significant than just anecdotal evidence. Okay, what are you guys doing on Wednesday?
Oh, I'm doing Dabney and egalitarianism, I think.
Oh, will it be related to your book, The Abomination of
Oh,
the
I'm sure
Egalitarian
one of the
Levelers? Yeah.
quotes that I used in that book will reappear.
Okay, that's awesome.
Okay, well, this sounds interesting. Sounds like it's somewhat related, or maybe building on what I did last week, the heresy of equality.
Yeah.
Egalitarian is equality.
Yeah.
Dabney really wasn't an egalitarianist.
No.
Or nor was he, did he have a blind belief in equality?
No. Well, there's some, I think he likes republicanism too much. The idea of a republic against monarchy is a bit too much, but
okay.
He's biased. Whatever. But
we are all biased, but he does see unconstrained or unqualified or undefined equality is a problem.
Yes. Yep.
Well, we'll have fun on Wednesday, guys. I'll try to join you as soon as I can. And go, please subscribe to the Resurgence of Sanity YouTube channel. Let me share with you our schedule quickly. If I have, hold on, let me find it here. Oh, wait, I did something wrong. Okay, sorry, guys. Here you go. Awesome. Okay, so yeah, join us for the controversial discussions that we have here on my YouTube channel, where we are diving deeper into certain topics at 9:15 a.m. Pacific on Saturdays. And then please subscribe to the Resurgence of Sanity YouTube channel. Join them on Wednesdays at 5:45 p.m. Pacific. From Mondays to Fridays and Sundays, join me for regular workouts. And I have even more workouts for you on my Patreon, guys. There are some community gym workouts there if you're interested. And then join me for the cross-training fitness program, where we talk about anatomy, safety, how to prevent common fitness injuries from happening. And join me for the regular piano practice on Sundays. Request some songs for me to work on. I'm not a professional pianist, so mess up is guaranteed there, but we'll have fun. And then on Substack, guys, if you subscribe, I occasionally share the summary of our discussions. And I think I'm going to write a summary of the topics that we've covered in the last 3 live streams. So please subscribe to my Substack and check those articles. Tell us what you think about them, okay? And yeah. That concludes our live stream for today. Do you have any final thoughts, guys?
This is why the red pill's helpful to men. Makes men realize, oh crap, this is what was really going on, and nobody told me. Or maybe they ignored a friend or a father, but no, you're not crazy.
Yeah.
Like, these are patterns of behavior. Yeah, you might have some weird, exception over here or there, but you see these patterns happen.
Mm-hmm.
You need to pay attention. They're signals.
Yeah.
They're warning signs.
Nick, my people perish through lack of knowledge.
Yeah.
I'm paraphrasing here. Where's that phrase come from?
Bible.
Wow, really?
Mm-hmm.
So what we're doing is we're giving you information. Do with it what you want. But the information will allow you to make better decisions and understand the world better and your problems in the things you come across. Use the information.
Yeah, don't ignore it, guys. Be situationally aware of what happens around you and pay attention to the patterns so that you don't get bamboozled and make better decisions also based on the truth, based on the truthful information. Okay, guys, I think we are done here. Please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you all next time. We'll decide on the topic, and I'll share it on my Instagram and also on Twitter. And yeah, take care, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Nick. It's always a pleasure to talk to you guys, and we'll see you all next time. Bye, guys.
Elena's Barre, the best place on the internet, the very best by far.